Good afternoon, everybody. Today we are going to be learning about music from the Jiangsu region. Now, I'm not going to share with you exactly where this region of the world is because first I want you to listen to a piece of music and guess where this region of the world is. So we're going to head over to YouTube and take a listen. All right, we're going to listen to about 15 or 20 seconds. And all I want you to do is use the clues in the music and see if you can guess where this music's from. So you are going to need a pencil and a piece of paper. So go ahead and pause this video if you need to grab your materials. And you can write a number 1. This is going to be the answer to number 1 on your paper. It's just your guess of where this music is from. All right, give you a few moments to write down your answer, your guess of where that might be from. So go ahead and finish that up as I'm pulling up our PowerPoint. Now here's one big clue. If you are familiar with this part of the map, you may have also used the context clues from the YouTube video and seen maybe a word on there that could give you a clue. The song is called Moonlight on the Qingyang River. And we're going to go find this area on the map right now. So here is the eastern part of the world, part of the eastern hemisphere, and this yellow country here is called China. And Jiangsu is in China, and China is made up of many different regions. This whole white area on the map is this same as the yellow country, China. And then this red area here is the region Jiangsu. Now you can see it's separated into many different regions. And we are going to learn about the music from Jiangsu. Now with your pencil and paper, go ahead, move down a line and write the number 2. And I want you to answer this question. Is Chinese music the same in every region? So remember, there's all of these regions. I want you to think, is music the same in all of those regions in China, or are they different between regions? So go ahead and write your answer down. Give you a few moments to do that. When we are listening to music, we can use the context clues within the piece of music to tell us where the music is from. And it also lets us know a lot about that area of the world and the people that live there. So your context clue was the map on the first page of a PowerPoint, and the YouTube video said Chinese classic. So you maybe could tell that it was in China. But we can also listen to the instruments that were being used, and we'll talk more about those later. If there are words in the song, we can listen to the person singing. What kind of dialect do they have? That would mean the grammar and the vocabulary that they're using. Do they have an accent? What language are they speaking? We can also listen to what they're singing about, and that could tell us a lot as well. Different regions of the world have different things to portray in their music, to discuss in their music, even if it's just instruments telling their story. And that's what program music is, and it's very important in Chinese music. It can talk about the history of a place or of an event. It can tell us what the people who live there are feeling, their emotions, what they're going through right then. Can also tell us a story or paint a picture in our mind. It's like a sound painting inside our heads, especially if we are able to use our imaginations. Music can tell us a story of a burning building or a flock of geese or very tall mountains, even a beautiful sunset, if we listen to what it's trying to tell us. So Jiangsu is on the eastern central part of Europe. Let's go back and look at that. Eastern Central China, I'm sorry. And China is a large country made up of many different regions, and they all have their own climates, their own cultures, their own music. So that was the answer to that question. Yes, every region does have its own kind of music. So we are going to listen to the song again. I'm actually just going to start playing it where we left off. And I want you this time, number 3, go ahead and write number 3, describe the landscape you might be hearing. So we are going to listen to the music again, describe the landscape that you hear when you listen to this song. Okay, I'm going to give you a big hint and then start from the beginning. So let's look at the title. The title will tell us a lot about what the song wants to paint in our minds. The title is Moonlight on the Qingyang River. Let's start at the beginning. Remember, this is number 3. What landscape do you see in your mind when you listen to this song? All right, I'll give you a moment to finish up the answer to number 3. So remember, this is the sound painting. It's telling us a story. It's called Moonlight on the Qingyang River. So the answer, there's not really a right or wrong answer because you can see whatever the music tells you. But the composer of the music, the person who wrote this song, intended for you to see moonlight on the river. And at the beginning of the song, they wanted you to hear some bells and a temple drum, a big ceremonial drum. Did you hear bells and drums at the beginning? Not real bells and drums, but the instruments they used to represent those sounds. So though we were sound painting in our minds, we need to use our imaginations to hear the story they're trying to tell us through the song. So these instruments are helping to paint a scene in our heads. We're going to listen one more time to the beginning of this song, and I want to see if you recognize any of these instruments. So number 4 on your paper, you are going to write down if you recognize any of these sounds, and you can describe their sounds. So there's 2 parts to number 4. Do you recognize any of the instruments? And describe their sounds. So here comes the last time of Moonlight on the Qingyang River. Okay, take a few moments and finish up describing the sounds you're hearing if you recognize any of those instruments. Then we're going to talk about what instruments we just heard. All right. These are the 3 instruments we just heard. So the first one was the pipa, and this is a 4-stringed lute. And a lute is Similar to a guitar in the way that we play it, the way we hold it and strum it. We hold a pick in our right hand and strum the strings. So this is a pipa. This is a zhang, and I'm sorry for my pronunciation of that. It is a 21 stringed instrument, many, many strings. And there's these bridges across the middle of the instrument, and they're shaped like triangles. And the person playing it uses their right hand with a pick to strum the strings, and their left hand presses up and down on the strings to change the pitch, to change the notes. And then this instrument all the way to the right, we see someone playing it here, is called a xiao, and it is made of bamboo, and it's similar to a flute. It's actually a vertical flute. It looks like a recorder. If you played the recorder, it might look familiar to you. In our culture, the flute is played off to our right. In this culture, it's played vertically. There's 4 or 5 holes on top and 1 hole on the back of the instrument. And the person playing the xiao uses their fingers to cover or leave open the holes to change the notes. So we learned in the Jiangsu region that program music tells us a lot about the culture and the people of that area. But that's true for all of the regions in China. And actually, that's very true for every part of the world. So if you want to get to know people around the world, a great place to start is listening to their music.